Since buying this house about 6 months ago, I've had an idea in my head for an office space where I could be productive without getting tired of seeing the space around me. So now, 6 months on and having seen several variations of this office space, I can finally say that I've got something that I'm proud of. So without further ado, here is the whole office tour. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom. I'm a wedding photographer based in the UK. On this channel, we help photographers grow in a way that works for you. So I'm going to start with the chair that I am sat on right now. It is a Herman Aeron Remastered size B. I bought this from eBay for £420, which sounds like a lot, but honestly for a Herman Miller, it is a bargain. I started with the chair because it is the number one thing that I would say don't cut corners on. It is obviously so important for your back, for your posture, and also it is the one thing, apart from the desk and your keyboard and your mouse, that you're going to be touching all day. It will do so much for your back and posture if you go for a chair made of premium materials. Now, I did try out a few Amazon knockoffs that were around like £50-60 that branded themselves as ergonomic chairs. They were fine, but honestly, after sitting in one of these Herman Millers in, I think it was like a John Lewis store, I really wanted to get one for myself. Everything about this chair just feels really high quality, from how it feels to sit in, how it feels to lean back in it. So moving on from the chair, and probably what most people are here for, is the desk and everything that is on it. So along with almost every other person who does a desk setup on YouTube, my worktop is an IKEA kitchen worktop. It is a Karlby oak veneer kitchen worktop, and it is supported by one set of Alex drawers and then two legs on the other side. I know a lot of people do two sets of Alex drawers, but I didn't need that much space because I do have another set of drawers behind me, just there, which I will go into later. The Alex drawers and the Adil legs are the same height, so they're already made perfectly to support the kitchen worktop. You can get the kitchen worktop in two separate pre-made lengths, I believe. I got the longer one just because I really wanted a wide desk and a lot of things to go on it, because I do have a PC and a Mac. I also used to have 3 monitors on this desk, if you can believe that. I've now only got 1, but to support the 3 and the PC, I did need the longer desk. And to be honest, even though I've only got 1 monitor now, I would still keep it that way. The monitor stand is made by Balolo. It is the walnut monitor stand, along with, again, every other YouTuber that makes a desk setup video. I just love the look of walnut. Most of the wood accents in here are walnut, all to go together, but I have seen other monitor stands or risers and they just don't even come close to the quality of the Balolo one. The accessories that come with them as well are absolutely perfect for what I need. The only thing about Balolo is they are insanely expensive, and it's also made in Germany, so if you do live anywhere else in the UK, they do ship internationally, but it will just take a little while to get to you. I think mine took about 2 weeks to arrive. So the shelf itself is called the Setup Cockpit, and I do have the wider one. There is also a Setup Cockpit tray which I have attached to it, which holds my Scarlett solo audio interface and also my SD card holder, which I'll come to in a little bit. It also has a MagSafe holder which nicely tucks a MagSafe charger into the Setup Cockpit, and I just use that to charge my phone every day. And I also have the laptop stand which has my MacBook placed on it. I do use the MacBook as a second screen when I'm using my Mac. It just connects to the Mac Studio via a USB-C to C cable, and what that does is it allows you to use it as a second monitor. You can't drag windows to and from the Mac Studio and the MacBook, but you can drag the mouse across, so you can use it as 2 separate laptops. So what I'll usually use a second screen for is YouTube videos or Netflix whilst I'm editing photos. Now, the tray also holds my SD card holder, which is by far the most useful piece of equipment that I have in this room if it's not tech. I mean, it's technically a pill organizer, but I use it for SD cards, and it has all of my couple's initials on it. I will never format an SD card until the client's full gallery is delivered. So if I lose the first backup of the photos, the second backup of the photos, and somehow the cloud backup of the photos, I still have the SD card with all of the photos on it, and the SD cards will never be taken out of that holder until the clients have all of their photos delivered to them. My main monitor is an Alienware AW3423DWF. It's a QD OLED panel. panel and a 165 Hz refresh rate, and that was really important to me because not only do I work at this setup, but I also play games too. So I didn't want to cut corners with the refresh rate. I also wanted a really color accurate panel, and I also wanted to get an OLED screen because once you get an OLED, you will never ever go back. Those of you that have an OLED, you know what I'm talking about. And those of you that don't, go to a Currys, go to an electronics store and check out the difference between an OLED and any other panel, and you will buy one. Now the lighting you see behind the monitor are two light bars from Govee. They are the Govee LED light bars, and they also work with Alexa. They're about £40 at the moment, and they just add that little bit of ambience, that little bit of depth to the room that I really like, and it goes really well with the other lights that I have in my room, such as the Govee light bar that you see behind me, which you can see in the background of all my videos. Right, editing me here, I just realized I forgot to talk about this massive light up here, which is an Amaran Verge Max. Now I bought this light because it is, although it's quite big, the form factor is smaller than the last light that I had, which had a huge softbox on it. So this one, even though it's big in diameter, it's very short in depth, which gives me more space in the room. Now you can control it with an app called Sidus Link, so I can turn up the brightness or turn it down. This light goes ridiculously bright. What it's on now is 15%. I never need to go above anything but that really. You can also control it with two dials that are on the light itself, and it connects via a pole which it comes with. So what you do is you just clamp it to your desk, adjust the height that you want the light set at, and screw it in. If you're building an office space for yourself, my number one tip is to invest in good lighting. It will completely change the vibe of the room. So my work computer is an M1 Max Mac Studio. It is the base model with 32GB of RAM and 512GB of storage. The base model, the one that I have, isn't ideal for a professional workflow. I would go for something else. It is okay for photo editing, but for video editing it is very laggy. Even with one transition it really struggles. And also if you're working with big photo files with a camera such as an A7R5, you are gonna struggle with the M1. I would go for an M3 at minimum, but the most important thing is the memory, the RAM. So try and upgrade that to something like 64 gig if you can. I've also heard really good things about the Mac Mini, although I've never used one myself, and also the MacBook Pro. I am considering swapping out my Mac Studio and my MacBook Air for a MacBook Pro, something like an M3 Max for all of my professional work. Now my PC is actually from Costco. It was built by CyberPower but sold at Costco. I got a Costco card pretty much just so I could buy a PC. Obviously there's lots of other things that we've now discovered are great from Costco, but I was part of a community where they've posted their really good finds from Costco, all the good deals that they found from returned PCs or ones that Costco just wanted to get off the shelf. Now it did take 3 trips, but on my 3rd trip I did get very lucky. I found this PC that had been reduced from something like just over £2,000 to only £1,200, and in this PC is an Intel i9 12900K processor, 32GB of DDR5 RAM, and a 4080 Super. The fact that I got this for £1,200 blows my mind, because that 4080 Super was selling for £1,200 alone at that time. So when I saw the deal, it was an instant purchase. The PC that I had at the time had a Nvidia 1070 graphics card in it, so I jumped forward 3 generations of graphics cards. In an ideal world, I would have wanted to get an AMD processor, but for the money, a 12900K from Intel is absolutely fine. I had no complaints. I do know why it was sent back though. That's because the fans sound like a freaking jet engine when you turn it on and do something as simple as open a Word document. So, but to be honest, it's not really a problem because of the Sony XM4 noise cancelling headphones. Now I believe they are now on the XM6s, so I'm a little bit behind, but the XM4s are perfect for what I need. I bought them initially for flights when I go to shoot destination weddings because they cancel out all the noise from the plane and the people around me so I can watch movies. Now the sound quality from these is incredible. I am not a sound engineer, but I have used lots of different iterations of headphones before, and these XM4s are just perfect for what I need. They're so comfortable as well. They also have a 3.5mm jack, so you can plug them directly in, which is what I do for my PC, and that means they don't need charging. When I'm using them with my Mac, I do either plug them in or just use the Bluetooth function on them. Now the mouse is an MX Master 3S. Honestly, not too much to say on this mouse. Everyone knows that it is an incredible mouse that has used it. I will say though, I did have to do some messing around with the scrolling. What I was doing straight out of the box was scrolling too far with even the tiniest scroll action, so I've now fixed that with the software. For gaming, I use the Razer Deathadder V3. this is an extremely light mouse. It feels so tactile for gaming, and I wouldn't use any other mouse now, to be honest. Now, my keyboard is a Keychron K2 HE. I'm not too sure what the HE stands for, but I know it is the special edition. If anyone knows what HE stands for, let me know in the comments. The special edition, though, has these walnut accents, and that's probably the main reason I went for this keyboard, actually, after doing a lot of research into all types of keycaps. Specifically Keychron. I knew I wanted to get a Keychron one just because I've heard so many good things about them, but the walnut accents go so well with everything else in the office, and the keystrokes do feel incredible. I had no idea what they were going to feel like before. All I've ever used is MX Cherries, but the keys on this feel great. When I'm editing photos, I use this Loupedeck Plus, which is a really cool little keyboard. It was actually an impulse buy. I had never heard of it, but when I came across it on a shelf, I thought that's a really cool idea. And once you get used to it, which took a couple days, it is so much faster to edit, and it's also much kinder on your hands, because when you're editing all day and you're using a mouse and keyboard and you're dragging the HSL sliders all day, it does start to get strained. When you have a dedicated editing keyboard like a Loupedeck Plus, it is so much kinder on your hands, and it's so much faster to edit as well once you learn where all the little knobs are. For my microphone, I use a Shure SM7B, which is really overkill for what I need it for, but when I was looking into options between a shotgun microphone and a microphone like this, the sound quality of the SM7B blows everything out of the water. You probably won't be able to hear the difference on YouTube because of compression, but even with compression, you probably still can hear how good this microphone is. I bought this microphone because someone on Facebook Marketplace was selling it for £120, which is again another bargain. Honestly, driving to this guy's house, I did think it was a scam, but he is an audio engineer and he was moving to Canada, and he had 2 of these microphones, and he said he just needed to get rid of it because his flight was the next day. So I immediately went over to the house and picked this up for 120 quid. He was selling it with a cloud lifter as well, which boosts the signal from my audio interface. On the subject of audio interfaces, mine is a Scarlett Solo. It is the 3rd gen. To be honest, I don't know much about audio or audio interfaces. It was just the one that I saw recommended and used by most people. I picked it up at CEX for about £70, so it is fairly cheap for what it is. The microphone is attached to an Elgato Wave mic arm low profile version. What's great about this is the clue's in the name, it's low profile, but there is also this magnetic wire housing which you can run your audio XLR cable all the way through, and it just keeps it nice and tidy, as cable management was something that I wanted to get right with this desk because I've never done it before. Everything's always been so messy. There is still room for a lot of improvement there, but it is so much better than it used to be. Now, my speakers are quite a cheap soundbar from Amazon. It is a Trust Gaming RGB speaker. It's only £22, but it does what I want for me when I'm not using my headphones, and that's only when I'm consuming media. So if I'm just watching Netflix or something, I don't really use them for professional video editing, so it just does what I need it to, really. So moving on from the desk is one of my favorite purchases, and that is the 6-tier shelves from Verge. Not really sure how to say it, but it is probably one of the best space-saving purchases that I made, and it's only £45. I use the shelves to display storage books, so these aren't real books, they just store things inside them. It also hides my hard drive as well, which is really useful, and as well as my hard drive, the shelves also hide the power bricks behind them as well. I also have my small watch collection, which is something that I got into this year, and hopefully something that I'll be expanding on throughout my life, which is why I got quite a big one, because I'm planning to fill it out at some point. It also has my IKEA lamp, my first ever film camera, a Zenit E, and also the box for the Sony 28-70 f2. That is the best lens for wedding photography, so if you do want to check out the full review for that one, it is on the link up above. Now next is this corner paneling piece from Wood Veneer Hub. Now those with a keen eye might have noticed that they are lit from behind, and that is because I have an LED strip going all the way around them. To get this effect, I actually built a custom frame using wood strips from B&Q. So what I did is use the measurements from the panels from Wood Veneer Hub and took a few centimeters off of each side. I then cut the wood strips down to size using a saw and attached them to the wall using screws. Then we stuck a Govee light strip around the entire frame, and finally screwed in the panels that I got from Wood Veneer Hub. Again, this just adds a little bit of depth to both the room and the wood paneling feature in the corner. Now lastly are my drawers, which are the most overpriced piece in the office by far, and these are from a company called BiGDUG. Now these drawers were £650, which is mental. I never wanted to spend that much much on any drawers, but I had an idea of the perfect drawers that I wanted, and these were the only ones. The reason they're so expensive is because they are industrial tool drawers. They are not meant for office supplies or camera equipment, they are meant for heavy duty tools, and it's also technically a mobile tool cabinet. So what I did is I took the wheels off to fit the space a little bit better. But quite a big benefit to these drawers is you can lock them, so I can lock camera gear away when I'm away from home or I go on holiday, for example. The drawers are also really good quality, and they're also all labeled with my partner's label maker that she really likes. My favorite drawer by far is the wire drawer. It is organized so nicely. I just bought little drawer separators from Amazon to separate all the different kinds of wires, and every single wire is wrapped up nicely and ready to be used whenever needed. Lastly is the artwork dotted around the office, and my favorite piece of art is by far my About Time poster, which is my all-time favorite film. If you've never watched About Time, even if you don't like romance films, please go and watch it. It will change your life. So if there is one thing you take away from this video, it is watch About Time, come back after you've watched it and leave a comment about what you thought of the film. I also have 3 photos from previous weddings that I have up on the wall. They're just black and white pieces that go really nicely in the background of my Zoom calls for prospective clients. So that has been my office tour for 2025, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please do leave a like and a comment down below, and as always, I will see you in the next one.